Hello everyone, I'm the Solar Gamer, and welcome to the International YouTube Moon Space Station. Yes, we are here again to do another space station. So we have a bunch of people lined up again, and to make this a little bit longer, I am going to do something different towards the middle of this project. But for now, this is what we have. So right now I'm going to launch the core and a space tug. Okay, so I started off by building off the core, and I wanted to do something different with the core. However, it turned out pretty basic, just, adding parts for people to add on to. So, I mean, really, I had the basics on there. I had the RCS, a little bit of fuel, batteries, and a bunch of docking ports on there. I couldn't really think of something crazy and new to do with a core. I mean, they're pretty substantially simple, and they're only designed for efficiency and purpose. But, hey, I tried to make it look a little bit nicer this time than, the International YouTube Space Station, which this is the save for that, and you'll see that when we go into the map view. You will see that the International YouTube Space Station is still in orbit around Kerbal, but this time we're going to the moon. That's right. We're gonna launch this. Dylan E. Kerman and George E. Kerman is, well, they're pretty happy. They're pretty happy. They're going to the moon, and they just cannot wait to get there. Now, something happens. The orange fuel tank just disappeared, and it was a big mess. Everything fell apart, and the abort button went off, so they landed safely, but everything was a complete failure on that launch. That's okay. Millions of dollars down the toilet, we started again. And this time we're going to make it into orbit. Now, I wanted to add the space tug because I wanted to add something that would help out the station, in building it. So, before we actually send this to the moon, we are going to dock the space tug to it. And then we'll bring the full piece to the moon. So right now we're just getting this up into orbit, into a nice circular orbit for an easy rendezvous. Surprisingly, getting these cores into space is not the challenge. The challenge actually comes from the little space tug. Messing around with the space tug was really, really annoying. Because I forgot to put RCS on the actual rocket part, which I actually kept. So you can see me building it here. Nice little space tug. Perfect for multi-purpose. I've got a nice little small docking port on the top, and a large one on the bottom, just so that we can have variance. Alright, building the launch stage. All my launch stages are pretty similar. They don't change, really. I usually use an asparagus design on all of them, really. Everything I put up into orbit, I usually have the same exact design. And it works pretty good. I haven't had an issue with it yet. Okay, so I skipped the launch on this one, just because it was pretty monotonous to do that again. So now we're in orbit with the space tug. I'm keeping this last little fuel, or launch stage, rather, on this, just so we can refuel the other stage, the launch stage on the spacecraft, so that we can easily get to the moon with enough fuel. Now we're just going to do a simple rendezvous and docking. And like I said, because I didn't put RCS ports on the launch stage, this thing is really, really hard to maneuver, because I don't have any RCS ports on those, so I mean, it's not turning. I wasn't planning on doing this. I was planning on just docking the space tug to it, but it worked out in the end because I needed to refuel that other launch stage so we can get to the moon itself. I don't remember how full it was, but it definitely wouldn't have been able to get us to the moon. Okay, so here we come, approaching the station. Again, this does not like to maneuver correctly because we have a big butt on this thing. So it's trying to go the other direction as we're trying to move. So it was really difficult to get this docked to that tiny little port. So we're just coming in close here, and I noticed that we're slowly starting to drift into the station rather than approach it nicely. And we almost... The steel beam that's sticking out here, we literally almost hit this thing. And it comes really, really close. But we avoided that. Okay, so now we're coming in, lining it all up, ready to dock in here. And we are not docked. In fact, they love rubbing noses together because it wouldn't dock. I mean, it literally took a lot of maneuvering to get this thing to dock. You'll see here me fidgeting around with it. It kept sliding off in all directions. It was crazy. Yep, there we go. Rubbing noses, but that's all I got out of that. Let it do its own thing. Turned off RCS, SAS, and it docked nicely. Okay, so now I was just transferring all the fuel. We undocked from there. We set our eyes on the moon itself, and here we go, blasting off from Kerbal. There you go. You can see actually the International YouTube Space Station there in orbit around Kerbal as we fly by it and head to the moon. Now, I decided to actually move the space tug and put it to the top of the actual spacecraft so we wouldn't get those oscillations. And it was actually a pain in the butt because it decided to panic halfway through. And, of course, when the craft starts to panic, you start to panic. And you're actually adding to the destruction of it. So, it was a little bit of an issue there. But I took it under control and we made it to the moon. Here we go, burning into a nice orbit. We're going to detach this launch stage. And there we go. We are around the moon, ready for the next module. And the next module is actually going to be constructed by Pleborian, the Procrastinaut. That's right. So if you want to see his video and all of the rest of the videos that are going to be adding onto the station, in the description below, there will be 2 links. One for a YouTube playlist that I will be creating that has all of the videos inside of it. That'll be constantly updating. And the second link is a forum thread from the Kerbal Space Program forums. So you have 2 ways of keeping up to date with the International YouTube Moon Space Station. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.